I'm going to talk about evaluating an exponential function with a base e that models a real-world situation. So when we first talked about e, we talked about how e is used for continuous growth, or population is one example of continuous growth, because obviously things just keep growing. They don't stop and then just grow once a year or something like that. So in any case, the problem is the population of a species of fish in a lake can be modeled by the equation P of t equals 1,000 over 1 plus 5 times e to the negative 0.25 t, where t is years. Find the population after 2 years and 7 years. So to find the population, we're going to just plug it in. But before we do that, I just want to mention that a population equation like this is representing when it has sort of a big number divided by 1 plus e to a negative power with t in it. What's happening there is that this is modeling a population that has some kind of a carrying capacity. So every ecosystem has some kind of a limit, and that is the number of a certain animal that it can reasonably support. So a lake, for example, has a number of fish that it can sort of reasonably support with food and space and whatever else fish need. So basically the population is going to grow toward that carrying capacity, but it's going to level off so that it doesn't exceed the carrying capacity of the lake, because it sort of can't support it. So that's what's happening here. So when we plug it in, we're going to do P of 2, because that's 2 years later, right? So this is 1,000 over 1 plus 5 times e to the negative 0.25 times 2, which is going to be 1,000 over 1 plus 5 times e to the negative 0.5. Okay, so now I'm going to pull out my calculator, and I want to try to solve this. So this calculator is a little bit different. You can just put it into your graphing calculator with parentheses, but it's easier for me to put it in this calculator if I do sort of 0.5, make that negative e to that power times 5 plus 1, and then I'm going to do 1,000 divided by this number, 4.0327. 1,000 divided by 4.0237. Okay, so this should be 249. We'll round to the nearest whole fish. 249. Okay, now after 7 years, we're going to plug in P of 7. So this is going to be 1,000 over 1 plus 5 e to the negative 0.25. Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself. Negative 0.25 times 7. So let me go back to my calculator and do 0.25 times 7. Make that negative e to that power times 5 plus 1. Okay, 1,000 divided by 1.8689. 1,000 divided by 1.8689 equals, okay, 535 whole fish. So 535. Okay, and that is how you evaluate an exponential function with base e that models a real-world situation. Remember that if you're using a graphing calculator, you can just type this in to your graphing calculator. Just remember to use parentheses around the denominator so that you don't divide by the wrong thing.